Okay, I'm gonna run through these four Greek exercises. I'm trying to learn the alphabet, the ancient Greek alphabet, and pronunciation. And so I'm practicing with a bunch of different sources that I found. One is Alman U, which is really interesting. That's a whole thing. But then from there, like that's the stuff in that course is a bit over my head, so I'm going to do some fundamentals because like otherwise I have a hard time keeping up with what's going on there. But now that I'm following with some of these fundamental things, the workbook that he presents and the other stuff is a little easier to kind of like work with. So if you're like me and you have absolutely no background in this stuff whatsoever and you find it interesting and you want to try to figure it out on your own time, I'm kind of sharing my process. So if something helps me, I'll share it. And there's one thing that I've been utilizing too, and if I see it, I'll point it out. There is a memorization tool that I learned in my psychology class, and I ironically can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Memory Castle or something like that. But essentially, you want to take something and associate as much like insane shit with it as you can. Like the more out there and the more associations you can build, it helps wire it into your brain faster and it's easier to recall stuff. And if you can, the weirder the better. Like as weird as you can get, you will learn more. That's why I like weird teachers. Every teacher I've ever had that was weird, I picked up a lot more when I was learning from them. And I will say one thing with the U class, like, while it is like ancient Greek, there's a reason there's a saying, it's all Greek to me. The way he presents this stuff, even without having any background in it, it's still interesting and you can still take a lot from it. And watching that stuff will totally help as you're like working through these other things because he does, you get an idea for the pronunciation and then what it means because what the fuck is the point of writing and reading a language not to understand what is being communicated? That's the whole point of it. So like having that background stuff kind of I feel like helps connect you to that language in a cool way. And I think part of that is just the people in that class are all really passionate about the content of it and the language. And I think that does rub off in a way. Anyway, so the other thing I'm doing, this is a little tool that helps me. So this is a Jacked, Jact, and they have some exercises you can do. And she reads the passage in Greek, and she gives you some time, and she reads it a couple of times, and then she does the translation, so you also know exactly what it is translating, or close to it, like, but it's, so what I've been doing with that is I've been screen recording her reading it, and then just taking that part, and then watching that, and then I can just rewind it right away, and I don't have to so it kind of streamlines my process, and then I can kind of just flip through them on my phone and re-listen to stuff easily and then not have to worry about internet connection too. So that's some stuff I've been doing to kind of pick up on some of this, and I'm feeling like surprised, I guess, that I'm picking it up as well as I am because I really, like, I'm not saying that I know what I'm doing at all by any stretch of the imagination at all, but I think if I compare this with attempts in the past I've had at trying to learn languages and like not being very good at it, a couple of those tools seem to really help me. So, but I think what it is isn't so much as not being good at it, so much as not knowing how you're good at it. So like if you can find ways to trick yourself into believing you're good at something, you eventually get good at it. There's like you find a way to get good at practicing. For example, like you could do the same thing with guitar too. Like if you're going over a chord or something, you want to try and play it as perfectly as you can, and then play it again and again and again and again. You know, like, it is the same thing with this. Anyway, that's a lot of rambling. Okay. Timen umes o Andreas Ertaneo papam hote upoton emon kategoron ugreda egodun kai atos upo tu noligru ematu apelatomen uto pitalos elegon. That's that one. And this one is a little bit okay. O tu strategie santos en troia pote Agamemnonos pai nuna canis Troiae soi paranti Lucien un practimos est I. And that was that one. I've been practicing that one for a little bit and the one before it. No, this is a newer one. Tu cadudes Ateneus sune is this one like every now and then my brain glitches out and like everything just evaporates for a second, and I hate it when it happens because it's really annoying. Tu codidnes Ateneos sune grapse ton polemon ton Peloponnesion kai Ateneon os epolemesan pros allelu. That's that one. And then this is the last one. Andra moene musa polutropon osmala pola plankton epe troes eron toilet Tolitron. I don't think that's quite right. Epe Risu a person. Andra moyen epe musa polu tropon osmala pola plankton epe troens eran toletron petrol eperesen. Hang on a second. Oh yeah, that's a mouthful right there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take you a minute right there. Okay, we'll come back to that and I will check in again with more pretty sounding Greek. Practice.